Hello and welcome to Inside Storm, proudly presented by RedZed. RedZed is the Australian lender that specialises in providing loans for the self-employed. I'm Sam Hargreaves, your host, and we can't wait to delve into previewing Melbourne Storm from all angles this season. And tonight is the grand final rematch between the Storm and the Panthers. I'm absolutely rapt to be joined by Melbourne Storm royalty, premiership player, 157 games for the Storm, 12 origins as well. Dallas Johnson, hello to you.
Oh, pleasure to be here, Sam. Wonderful to have league back on TV and going back to the games.
Now, our round one clash against South Sydney was our first Melbourne home game in front of fans in 538 days. Now, how much would it have meant for the players to be back at home in front of their Melbourne family, friends, and most importantly, the Storm fans after that premiership win as well?
Geez, 538 games, Sam. It's a huge amount of time, isn't it? Basically the whole of last year to be a play away. The word that pops into my head is emotional. Emotional from the fans, emotional from the players to get out there and play the first round against the Rabbits with a fairly decent crowd. Emotional time, and I'm sure that's the players would have loved it.
They absolutely would have, and Ryan Pappenhausen on fire early in the year, and then so too Cam Munster. It was just great signs for the Melbourne Storm and a great night. Now, before we analyse our round two clash and then look ahead to round three, we do need to touch on our next home game, Dallas, the round four clash against the Broncos on Friday, April 2nd at Amy Park. Now, we've partnered with Good Friday Appeal in 2021. This new initiative is part of the Storm's push to create a permanent blockbuster fixture on Good Friday each year. And wouldn't that be something? And supporting and raising funds for the Royal Children's Hospital. It is a fantastic initiative from the Storm.
Wonderful initiative, Sam. I don't think we can really appreciate, I've got kids, appreciate how difficult it is when you've got an ill kid. So to raise awareness and some funds for the Royal Children's, it's a fantastic initiative.
Wouldn't that be something to make that a regular yearly thing? It would be an absolute blockbuster every year.
Most definitely. Regular, it'd be great.
Now, we've got some good news as well. 21,500 members is a fantastic start to the membership campaign. Some quick housekeeping ahead of the next home game. Capacity is increasing to 75%, so this means more members get more access to their preferred section in the stadium. So, extended 3-day exclusive redemption window from Friday 26, 2 p.m. to Monday. Please remember to use your barcode number when you're redeeming. Now, if you are sitting with others, please enter all barcodes together. So members, when you're selecting your seats via Ticketek, please select the section you want rather than best available. Remember, we are stronger as one. So if you haven't signed up yet, take a look at our membership campaign now.
The Eagle has landed. Melbourne have won it. Beauty! Yeah, well, they've got plenty of stars in their side, haven't they, the Melbourne Storm? Look at Melbourne now. They can smell the blood in the water. But yeah, they found their groove, haven't they? Bang, bang, bang! Here come the Storm. Pappenhausen. He kicks it! He's got it!
Geez, if that didn't get the hairs on the back of your neck standing up, Storm fans, I don't know what will. So if you haven't signed up yet, head to our website for all your membership information. Right, Odell, it's going to be a tough one, but we're going to have to take a look at the round two clash, the 16-12 loss against the Parramatta Eels. Now, we were away against Parramatta, Bankwest Stadium, round two game on Thursday night. Conditions were less than ideal. We know the rain that had been coming down in Sydney and around that area, and we are wishing everybody all the best in that recovery. It was a hard-fought game, though, for both clubs.
Treacherous game, Sam. High-quality game as well. It was back as normal as a slugfest through the middle. Ball was side to side. It was a really high-quality game. Obviously, Parramatta got the chocolates, but I think both teams would have learnt a lot out of it.
Now, just his second appearance for the Melbourne Storm, we saw Remus Smith, who crossed from the Dogs in the off-season. He scores his first try in Melbourne Storm colours. How's he looked in his first two games for you? A couple of tackle breaks in this one as well?
Always great to get an early try in the season, I suppose, from Remus. Great pickup for the club, I think. Obviously, young player, played 50-odd games. Storm identified him as a future player for the club. It takes a time for structures and combinations to learn new structures to a new club and combinations with the players. So I think the more games he plays, the better he'll become.
Our coach Craig Bellamy praised his side's effort from Thursday night, and you could look no further than the game from Justin Olam. It was all effort, 131 metres. He scores a try, 41 post-contact metres, 9 line breaks. He was doing it everywhere.
He definitely was, Sam, and he's definitely a player you wouldn't want to oppose. When he hits you, you're definitely hit, and it bloody hurt. So, yeah, he's fantastic. I think he's the premier centre in the game. Definitely the best defensive centre in the game, I feel. So, yeah, it's great to watch him. He's reminds me a lot of back in the early days when I first started, of Marcus Boy, who had a cult following down here at the Storm, and yeah, he's a fantastic player.
That is high praise indeed. Marcus Byer, one of the greats of the Melbourne Storm. Hey, tonight we'll be taking on the Penrith Panthers in the grand final rematch. The Storm's, well, 4th premiership.
6, mate. 6, Sam. Definitely 6. There was two you've missed there, 7 and 9. They were definitely, we definitely won those.
Let's now take a look at that grand final rematch, last year's 2020 grand final.
Dummy, and then a lofted ball inviting Vunivalu. Vunivalu down, up again, breaks the tackle. There's a chase on, but Vunivalu inside the 20. He'll run the length of the field almost. And the Fijian Vunivalu scores. This will be interesting. This might be a try for the captain. He's made a break over halfway. Pappy's on his way again. Ryan Pappenhausen. Fisher Harris, he gets it off. Numbers out to the right. Martin comes back to the middle and it's intercepted. The Eagle has landed. Melbourne have won it. Melbourne have won it. 26-20, the final score.
Especially our ones back in Victoria. We wear the V on our jersey proudly and can't wait to go back there and celebrate with you guys, so thank you.
We haven't been in our homes for 5 months. We haven't slept in our own beds for 5 months. And in the last 80 days, we've been out of our accommodation twice. But we've turned up every day with a great attitude. We've turned up every day being resilient and wanting to get better and wanting to get here tonight and win it all, and we've done it. Fellas, this 2020 season, it's one like no other, and what we've been able to achieve tonight, we'll never forget it. We'll remember it for the rest of our lives, and a big congratulations to everyone. This big V on my jersey, on our jersey, this is who we're playing for. Everyone back home in Victoria. This one's for you, you beauty!
That's stirring stuff indeed, just to relive it in that package. What a night it was. What an achievement to win that premiership in the toughest of years, that COVID years. It'll mean even more. What a game from Ryan Pappenhausen, and what a way to send off the greatest of all time, Cam Smith.
The greatest of all time. I think he explained it really well in his after the match speech. Being away from home for 5 months, not sleeping in your own bed, your creature comforts. For what they've achieved last year was just phenomenal. Fantastic, and fantastic for the Victorian supporters in the club.
All-out attack in that first half. I know that the second half would have really put a smile on your face. The defence, the tackling, the desperation, Ryan Pappenhausen, some of those moments, and that key moment where he went back and just got a hand on the ball to make a play, will live on forever.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm glad the game finished when it did. I didn't want a few more minutes. It might have been a different result, but yeah, the start from the Storm was fantastic. They know what winning's all about, and in a big game like that, you have to start really well.
Well, this is going to be a big game as well because we get to take on the Penrith Panthers again, and won't they be itching to make amends from that grand final? This is how the teams were announced on Tuesday night for tonight's game. Pappenhausen, who looks like he's going to be out of that side, and who are we believing will be replacing him?
Well, I think Nico Hines has been in the peripheral there for a fair while. He should slot straight in. Fantastic player. He's bided his time, so he should slot straight in. I think Cooper Johns should jump onto the bench and hold up that forward.
That'd be great to see as well. Ryan Pappenhausen just hurting his neck in that loss to the Panthers. So Remus Smith, Olam, Addo Carr in 5, Cam Munster, of course, Jerome Hughes in the halves there, Bromwich, Smith, Welsh, Eisenhuth and Bromwich, Kenny Bromwich at the 12 and Nelson Asofa Solomona at 13 on the interchange, Aaron Penne, Tui Kamakamika, Chris Lewis, and then you say Nico Hines will probably come into that full-back spot. So
nice to see Tommy Eisenhuth get a run on the starting side. I know he's been at the club for a fair while now. To get a run on the starting side, I think it's well deserved. And I'd like to just mention on Chris Lewis last week. I thought he was fantastic. Had some really good runs, really good efforts. So it's good to see him playing well and getting a run.
We all watched Harry Grant have one of the greatest Origin debuts in the history. He continues to work on his rehab after suffering that medial injury in the trial against Newcastle. Best case has him returning to the field in round 5, which will be a fantastic moment for him to be back at the Storm, and a big job stepping into that hooker position. So the other one is Dale Finucane, the co-captain, also faces at least 2 more weeks on the sidelines. He's working his way back to full fitness following a calf tear prior to round 1. In other injury news, Brenko Lee, our centre, he's resumed training as he progresses to full fitness from that calf, and he is expected to be available for round 4. Max King yet to rejoin the full group in training following the off-season Achilles. His estimated return is between rounds 8 to 10, so a bit of a wait there for Max. But those players coming back will be a great injection when they re-enter the fray for the Storm.
Oh, most definitely, Sam. We look at very unfortunate for Harry Grant to in a trial to do his medial. Although he's out for a few more weeks, so he'll be back pretty shortly. But look at his last season and Origin debut. Wow. That was amazing to see him play the way he did. It's a very daunting task, and he really stood up to that. I think last week with Dale Finucane, his leadership on the field would have really helped. So it'll be great to get him back as soon as he can. Obviously Brenko and Max as well. Hopefully get them back shortly.
And good to see Dale keeping himself busy, just wheeling out some more beautiful tunes on the guitar and just regaling us with his dulcet tones. It's always love it when he gets behind a mic.
Yeah, he does. He's got that gravelly voice. It's nice.
He's a star. He's an absolute star. Hey, let's have a look at the Penrith team that'll be keen to, as we say, make amends for the grand final loss, which you can never really do in a regular season game, but it'll still give them extra motivation as well. So Edward, Staines, Momirovski, Crichton, To'o, Luai and Cleary. The forwards, Leota, Kenny, Fisher-Harris, Kikau, Capewell and Yo. And on the interchange, May, Leniu, Eisenhuth and Martin.
Yeah, we've got obviously speculation around Nathan Cleary, whether he'll play or not. I think with that, Tyrone May will come into the side, and then there's a young guy, Matt Burton, who's played five games for the club. So, yeah, that's the lineup for those.
We spoke about we can't wait for the return of Harry Grant to be in Storm colours and all the talk around a potential new big 3 at the Melbourne Storm, and Ryan Pappenhausen, Harry Grant and Cam Munster, who we actually caught up with during the week.
Money coming off a loss. What did you learn out of that game?
Just to play football. We obviously just put 4 or 5 in for a kick, and can't do that against good quality teams. We need to make sure we play our game plan and run our shapes, and we didn't do that on Thursday night against Paris. So we need to make sure we do that against Penrith. So they're a hot quality team like they were last year, and they're a very consistent team. So we need to bring our A game on Thursday night and make sure we shift the ball around and go to our game plan, which is shifting the ball.
Yeah, we just finished our main session for the week. What are we working on for Penrith?
Just completions and getting possession to where we want it. Running hard and hopefully Jerome Hughes pulls his finger out this week. We just need him to run the ball a bit more and obviously get that combinations going with Brennan, and that's where we need to probably work on as our spine, just getting the ball in the places that we really want it, and we'll go from there.
That's Craig's message for the week.
Craig's message is not really much at the moment. He's pretty much on holidays. He has like blokes around him that do their work, and he's just the one that looks good. So. All the coaching staff around the area in our group is the ones that work really hard, and unfortunately Bellyache gets the credit. So, if everyone knows Bellyache, he doesn't really work hard at all.
Now it's obviously wet here. It's going to be wet in Penrith. Anything different to last week that you're going to bring?
Same attitude, mentality. Tackle hard, run hard. Just play field position and possession. I was like watching the games last week, and there was a lot of completions, which was surprising in wet weather footy. But for us to win the game on Thursday night, we need to make sure we hold the ball and go to our game plan and run the shapes that we want to run.
Cam Munster there. Now let's dive a little deeper into the round 3 clash against the Penrith Panthers. When we do this, Dallas, let's have a look at this. The head-to-head between these two teams. They've played each other 36 times. The Storm have had the absolute wood over the Panthers over the journey. 27-9, the ledger, and of course the 26-20 win in the grand final. What are the differences in the two sides since their last encounter in the grand final?
I think definitely for Penrith is its experience. A young team coming into their first grand final, they'll be experience will be their best attribute. I think obviously the personnel, a lot of personnel changes. Their leader James Tamau, obviously leaving the club. Josh Mansour has been at the club. He's a powerful winger, bringing the ball back. But for me, I think the biggest thing for Penrith is Api Coruscant. They're missing Api Coruscant, which is a really creative hooker. And obviously on the Storm side, the changes for them is some notably player like Cameron Smith.
Yeah, it rings a bell.
It rings a bell, yeah. So losing Cam, or not losing Cam moving on, that's going to be a big change. And for Brandon to come in, he does a fantastic. It's a really good position for the Storm to have Harry and Brandon, two representative hookers. It's a great position for the club, but the team really has to work around them and learn new practices with them and work with the new hookers.
Jerome Hughes had a great game against Parramatta last week. Should the Panthers be keeping a close eye on him tonight?
Yeah, I think Jerome's really progressed. He's come in a couple of years, obviously now. After Cooper left, big shoes to fill. I think for Jerome, his best attribute, or not his best attribute, but one that he's really picked up is his kicking game, and especially we assume that it'll be really wet. His kicking game needs to be spot on. So I think hopefully, we'll see how he goes with that.
Now, Money and Josh combined on a number of occasions Thursday night. How important is this going to be to continue for those two players to continue to find each other and collaborate?
Yeah, well, I think it's exciting. You want to get those two together. They're both exciting players. Munster, obviously, very creative, and Josh just with his sheer speed. But if the forwards don't lay that platform, especially in a wet game, they won't get that opportunity. So let's see. We'll see what plays out. Be nice to see some skill from both those guys.
So what are the keys for the Storm coming away with a win tonight?
Definitely controlling the ball. Controlling the ball in wet conditions is imperative, and controlling the forward pack. They're a very powerful. Penrith are a very powerful forward pack. Look out on the edge, Viliami Kikau. I got that right, I think. Kikau. No, he's a powerhouse and can cause some damage. So you really want to control him and the creative halves. Luluai and Cleary. If Cleary plays, very creative.
So let's have a little bit of a deeper look at the Panthers. 2-0 on the year. They beat the Bulldogs 28-0. They haven't conceded a try all year. What do we need to be looking out for against the Panthers?
Pretty good stat, isn't it?
Yes.
2 rounds, they haven't dropped a try. Like I said, I mentioned Cleary and Luau, very creative creative players. Kiki out on that edge. If Leo connects with Kiki out, you really want to control that. And James Fisher-Harris, the big guys moving forward, you really want to control the ruck before, and we'll see what comes of it.
All right, so it's a massive game for us against the Penrith Panthers. What is your prediction, Dallas Johnson? And I need a score to go along with that prediction.
The score, I suppose, off the back of last week's loss from the Storm, I'd have to edge the Storm there. I'd say 2018 in wet conditions, 2018 in a bit of a slugfest.
We know it's been a really tough week for the people in and around Penrith and all through New South Wales, so hopefully this is just a bit of relief on what's been a really, really tough week. We wish you all the best with the recovery. Hopefully the Panthers can put a smile on your face, but not too much, because we want the Storm to obviously come away with a win. That's all from us from tonight's Inside Storm. It's proudly presented by RedZed. RedZed is the Australian lender that specialises in providing loans for the self-employed. A big thank you to the man to my left, Dallas, for joining me tonight. Melbourne Storm legend, mate. It was a pleasure having you, and thank you to all the members and fans for tuning in. We will see you next week.